The overall goal of this procedure is to determine the genetic control of translocation formation by single-strand annealing in diploid budding yeast cells. This is accomplished by first inoculating cultures with single colonies of a specific genotype and growing them overnight. The second step of the procedure is to induce simultaneous double-strand break formation by HO-endonuclease on 2 chromosomes by the addition of galactose to the cultures. Next, dilutions of these cultures are plated on selective and non-selective media. The final step is to determine translocation frequency by counting colonies arising on selective and non-selective media. Ultimately, results can be obtained that show genetic control of translocation formation by single-strand annealing through changes in the frequency of HO-stimulated translocation formation in strains of different genotypes.
The implications of this technique extend toward the consequences of therapeutic radiation exposure of cancer patients, because DNA double-strand breaks and translocation formation are the primary consequences of this treatment.
To begin the procedure for determining HO-stimulated translocation frequencies, inoculate 10 to 20 independent 1 milliliter cultures of YP glycerol lactate medium with single colonies of the desired genotype. Incubate the cultures overnight at 30 degrees Celsius on a rotator. When the cultures have reached the desired cell density, add 20% galactose to the cultures to a final concentration of 2%. The galactose will induce expression of the HO-endonuclease, which will direct double-strand breaks at the his3 delta 5' allele on chromosome 3 and his3 delta 3' allele on chromosome 15. Incubate for 4 hours at 30 degrees Celsius on a rotator.
The next step is critical to the success of the procedure. Careful dilution and plating of the cultures is imperative if you are to get translocation frequencies that are sufficiently reproducible to permit statistically significant comparisons between strains of different genotype.
After 4 hours, plate appropriate dilutions of the cultures onto medium lacking histidine as well as onto YPD to yield approximately 100 to 200 colonies per plate. Incubate plates at 30 degrees Celsius for 2 to 3 days. When colonies arise, the translocation frequency can be determined. Plating efficiencies before and after induction of HO-endonuclease expression will indicate if the presence or absence of either translocation chromosome affects the ability to survive DSB formation that fragments one copy of both chromosome 3 and chromosome 15. To determine pre-induction plating efficiencies, first remove an aliquot of cells from each overnight culture and determine cell number by counting with a hemocytometer. Next, use an appropriate dilution to plate approximately 100 to 200 cells onto YPD. Incubate for 2 to 3 days at 30 degrees Celsius until colonies arise. Add 20% galactose to the remaining cultures to a final concentration of 2% and incubate at 30 degrees Celsius for 4 hours. To determine post-induction plating efficiency, remove an aliquot of cells from each culture after 4 hours of induction and determine cell number by hemocytometer count. Plate approximately 100 to 200 cells using an appropriate dilution onto YPD. Incubate for 2 to 3 days at 30 degrees Celsius until colonies arise. Once colonies arise on the plates, plating efficiency can be determined. Putative translocation-bearing clones can be examined by Southern blot. This procedure uses genomic DNA prepared from a single His plus recombinant colony from each independent trial. Digest approximately 4 micrograms of each DNA sample with BAMH1 restriction endonuclease. Separate BAMH1 digested fragments on a 0.7% agarose gel, and then transfer to a positively charged nylon membrane. Hybridize with a P32 labeled probe, obtained by random priming with a 1.8 kilobase BAMH1 genomic clone containing the His3 gene. Visualize DNA fragments by autoradiography or phosphorimaging. Another way to examine putative translocation-bearing clones is by chromosome blot analysis. Chromosomes are first prepared from selected His plus recombinants in agarose plugs. Separate chromosomes on a 1% agarose gel in a contour-clamped homogeneous electric field, or SHEF, at 14 degrees Celsius. The following parameters are used. First block, 14 degrees Celsius, 70-second switch time, and 15 hours at 6 volts per centimeter. Second block, 14 degrees Celsius, 120-second switch time, and 11 hours at 6 volts per centimeter. At the completion of the electrophoresis, visualize chromosomes by staining the gel with ethidium bromide for 30 minutes, followed by irradiating with UV and destaining in distilled water. Transfer chromosomes to a positively charged membrane by capillary action in denaturing conditions. Hybridize with a P32 labeled probe obtained by random priming with a 1.8 kilobase BAMH1 genomic clone containing the His3 gene. Visualize chromosomes by autoradiography or phosphorimaging. The frequency of chromosomal translocations can be calculated by dividing the number of histidine prototrophic colonies by the total number of viable cells determined by plating onto YPD. In this example, the calculated recombination frequency is about 3%. The assay for HO-stimulated translocation frequencies can be conducted using strains of different genotypes to compare differences in the ability to repair double-strand breaks by single-strand annealing. As shown in this representative graph, the translocation frequencies obtained both selectively and non-selectively with the Rad51 delta null homozygote were statistically different from those obtained using the corresponding conditions with the wild-type strain. Both pre- and post-induction plating efficiencies are determined by dividing the total number of viable colony-forming cells by the total number of cell bodies in the culture determined by hemocytometer count. As shown in this table, pre- and post-induction plating efficiencies were not significantly different for wild-type cells, which suggests that the presence or absence of either translocation chromosome does not affect the ability to survive DSB formation. Putative translocation-bearing clones can be examined by genomic southern blot analysis. A graphical representation of relevant chromosomes before and after translocation formation is shown here. Sizes of restriction fragments containing relevant sequences generated by BAMH1 digestion of genomic DNA from parent and recombinant strains and revealed on blots by hybridization with a 1.8 kilobase BAMH1 His3 genomic clone are listed in kilobase pairs. For southern blot analysis, genomic DNA is digested with BAMH1 endonuclease and hybridized to a P32 labeled 1.8 kilobase His3 probe to visualize these diagnostic fragments. 0.8 kilobase His3 delta 200, 1.7 kilobase His3 delta 3 prime, 4 kilobase T315, 5 kilobase T15-3, and 8 kilobase His3 delta 5 prime fragments. Lane A is the parent diploid, lane B is a His plus non-reciprocal translocation recombinant, and lane C is a His plus reciprocal translocation recombinant. Chromosomal blot analysis can also be employed to examine translocation-bearing clones. Intact chromosomes prepared in agarose plugs are separated by SHEF electrophoresis, and the gel is stained with ethidium bromide and visualized under UV light. The separated chromosomes are then blotted to nylon and hybridized with the P32 labeled 1.8 kilobase His3 probe to visualize the 1.1 megabase intact chromosome 15, 0.8 megabase T15-3 translocation chromosome, 0.6 megabase T315 translocation chromosome, and 0.3 megabase intact chromosome 3. Lane A is the parent diploid, lane B is a His plus non-reciprocal translocation recombinant, and lane C is a His plus reciprocal translocation recombinant.
After watching this video, you should have a good understanding of how to determine the frequency of translocation formation following multiple HO-stimulated double-strand breaks.